Okay, so let's talk about something we've all seen happen. Someone who is incredibly smart does something just unbelievably foolish. Today, we're going to dig into why that happens and explore a skill that might just be way more important than raw intelligence.
It really all boils down to this one central puzzle, a puzzle that probably feels pretty familiar to you. Why on earth do incredibly smart people so often do incredibly foolish things?
And I'm not just talking about theory here. Think about the real world. You have a math professor who loses their entire life savings on a single, terrible stock pick. You have members of Mensa, the high IQ society, who genuinely believe in astrology. Highly educated professionals, doctors and lawyers, falling for the most obvious financial scams. And, on a way darker note, you have high IQ war criminals, people with doctorates, who masterminded absolute atrocities. So what is going on here?
Well, here's the thing. The problem isn't their intelligence. The problem is that our main tool for measuring how smart someone is, the good old IQ test, has a massive fundamental blind spot. It's missing a huge piece of the puzzle of what it actually means to think well. This gap bothered cognitive scientist Keith Stanovich so much that he actually coined a term for it, disrationality. And you can think of it just like dyslexia, but for reasoning. It's this strange inability to think and act rationally, even when you have more than enough horsepower in your brain to do so.
Okay, here is the absolute best way to wrap your head around this. Think of your mind as a car. Your intelligence, your IQ, that's the engine's horsepower. It's all about how fast you can process information. But rationality, that's the driver. That's the skill, the navigation, the decision of where the car is actually going. You can have a Formula One engine, but if the person behind the wheel is a terrible driver, you're still going to end up in a ditch.
So, if our old map of the mind, the one that just focused on IQ, is incomplete, what does the new, more accurate map actually look like?
Well, it's called the tripartite mind model. And what it shows us is that our mind isn't just one thing. It's actually three different interacting systems: the autonomous mind, the algorithmic mind, and the reflective mind.
Let's break this down. First, you've got your autonomous mind. This is your autopilot. It handles all your gut reactions, your intuition, those learned habits you don't even think about, like riding a bike. Then you have the algorithmic mind. This is the engine from our car analogy. It's your raw processing power, the stuff IQ tests are actually pretty good at measuring. And then you have the most crucial part, the one IQ tests completely ignore, the reflective mind. This is the driver. This is the part of you that does the big picture thinking, setting your goals, questioning your own assumptions, and most importantly, deciding when to hit the brakes and override your autopilot's impulses.
This simple, kind of stark scenario shows the difference perfectly. Imagine a woman falls from a cliff because she misjudged the distance. That is a failure of the algorithmic mind. The engine just couldn't compute the problem correctly. But now, imagine a woman jumps from a cliff to commit suicide. Her calculation of the distance might be perfect. The failure here isn't the engine, it's the driver. It's a failure of the reflective mind to set a life-affirming goal.
Okay, enough with the theory. How about we put your own mind on the spot? Let's do a quick puzzle and see which of your three minds decides to take the lead.
You ready? Listen closely. A bat and a ball cost $1.10 in total. The bat costs exactly $1 more than the ball. So, how much does the ball cost?
Now, if you're like most people, and I mean over half the students at Harvard and MIT who took this test, your brain probably just screamed 10 cents. That's your autonomous mind for you. That's your autopilot, jumping in with a fast, easy, and completely wrong answer.
See, to get the right answer, your reflective mind, your driver, has to slam on the brakes and override that initial impulse. You have to stop and think, wait a second, if the ball is 10 cents and the bat is $1 more, the bat would have to be $1.10. And that adds up to $1.20, which is wrong. So you do a little bit of simple math, and you realize the ball must be 5 cents, which makes the bat $1.05, and that gives us our $1.10.
And here is the absolute key point of that little brain teaser. It's not really a test of your math ability, that's just your algorithmic mind, your engine. It's a test of your reflective mind. It's a test of your willingness to stop, to think, and to question that first gut instinct. And that is the very core of rationality. So this all leads us to the million-dollar question, right? If rationality is so incredibly critical, is it just something we're stuck with? Or can we actually get better at it? And the answer, which is fantastic news for all of us, is a huge, resounding yes. This is the great news. Unlike your raw processing power, your fluid intelligence, which is pretty hard to change,
Rationality is a set of skills and knowledge. It is something you can actively learn and get better at.
Stanovich calls these skills Mindware, which is a perfect name. It's like software for your brain. The goal is to install good Mindware, things like a solid understanding of probability, knowing how to use scientific reasoning, being able to spot economic fallacies. And at the very same time, you want to uninstall the bad Mindware, things like superstition, relying too much on folk wisdom, or just being way too confident in your own beliefs.
All right, let's pull all this together. What are the big ideas to walk away with? First, a high IQ is absolutely no guarantee of good judgment. Second, rationality is a totally separate skill. It's about being a wise driver, not just having a powerful engine. We've seen how your brain has those three systems: the autopilot, the engine, and that all-important driver. And maybe, most importantly, you can actually train that driver by installing better Mindware.
I'm going to leave you with this powerful thought from cognitive psychologist Jonathan Barron. He said, if a person had two brains, they would only be twice as stupid. It's just a striking reminder that simply adding more horsepower, more raw intelligence, without the rational skill to guide it, doesn't just fail to help, it can actually make things worse. It just makes us more efficient at driving straight off a cliff.
So that leaves us all with a challenge. What is one intuitive, gut-level belief that you hold that, after this, might be worth putting under the microscope of your reflective mind? What's worth double-checking?